Meeting's called to order. Good evening. Welcome to this meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen. Ms. Goldman, roll call to determine a quorum.
Ms. Moore?
Here.
Ms. Prater?
Here.
Mr. Shaw?
Here.
Mr. Green? Mr. Lott? Here. Mayor all present, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Let us stand. Who wants to lead, pray? You do? Who wants to lead, pray? You do?
Come on, silent, please. Lord, we just thank thee for the opportunity to come and serve, Lord, this community and these people who make up our congregation on our churches and just come through for us. And just thank you, Lord, for all that you do. And I pray that everything is said and done in accordance to your will. In Christ's name, amen.
Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have just a few announcements that I will go through, and as I indicated, I do need to exit as quickly as possible. We have with us a guest who has been my boss for 5 days. And in between time, we had Thanksgiving break, so if it took a little longer to get the flat Stanley back, that is why. But it always warms my heart that the children take an interest in city government. Skylar, if you could stand. Thank you, Skylar, for being my boss for all those days. Kept the diary. Did that help you understand the function of the mayor's office? It did. And on behalf of the mayor's office and this board of aldermen, I want to present you with this certificate as well as pen. Now, I don't have on mine today, but I'm going to pin yours on you. What grade are you, Skylar? The third? Where did you go to school? The magnet school. Okay, I'm going to pin this. Mom, do you mind if I post it? I have a pen like that, and the council members have a pen. Y'all do have a pen. I don't stand up here and say something about me. We try to find the company that's... Wait just a minute. Let's get one from Mom. Thank you. If you'd like to stay a little stay all through the business, knowing that tomorrow's a school day for the children.
Thank y'all.
Mom, she can have that. She won't say this.
Thank y'all. Good night to y'all.
I'll get through these announcements as quickly as possible. We know that December 10th is tax election day, so let's encourage people to go and vote. These are renewals, no new taxes. It is strictly to keep things going as we have it. I participated in a company research, WSP, which is a worldwide company. Drax invited me to share information about the community. So I had an interview with them and shared some things on how we can work in a collaborative effort to move the city forward. So I'm looking forward to getting that information back from them. The flooring is down at Dotson. Extremely pleased at it. And we want to do a few more things, then we're going to invite council members to come and take a look at it. We just need to clean up a few more things. I know you're anxious, Mr. Green. I know everybody's anxious. But beautiful job, well worth it, and the children are worth it. As you can see, we've implemented security in the city hall to help keep employees as well as citizens safe. And we've researched what's legal and what's proper. So bear with us as we implement things. We have a few more things we need to do. But after an incident occurred in the community, I knew it was time to go ahead and get that started. Okay, Christmas is for children, the toy drive. Collection time goes on. This is between City of Bastrop, Toyota, Bastrop Fire Department. Chief Williams, you have an update?
Sure, yeah, everything's going as planned. We still need support. We appreciate the ones that have already given, but please reach out and do what you can. We can make this effort as good as it has been in the past.
We appreciate everybody who has made a contribution. We want to buy a toy and take it out to Toyota Bastrop and Chief Williams, what's the other distribution site for convenience? What's the other distribution site?
Central Fire Station 717 North Maryville or Toyota Bastrop, or you can contact my office 283-3353. I'll come by, pick it up, whatever you need us to do.
Okay. And the trucks on Toyota Bastrop floor. This year, item, number 5 on my sheet, Morehouse General Hospital is having a coat drive, but I think they've been having that for a while, haven't they, Ms. Kathy?
They have.
But we combine our efforts, and we're going to, or we already, not through the city, but through Toyota Bastrop, gave a contribution to the coat drive. I'll be making a personal contribution. So that's also an effort that's going on that I support. Okay. Remember our website, we try to keep things current on there. So any information you might need on the tax renewals, just visit the website, and we refreshed that page the other night, didn't we, Ms. Kennedy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Dr. Mabel John passed away, I believe, a few months ago, and I had a chance to meet her and work with her, and she had a real sincere desire, because she was born here, to do something, to leave a footprint here. She was a Raylette, well known, and there's a group that's going around to do this music trail. Bill Bowles, who is our bond attorney, is part of it because he is a musician. So I will be joining him at the police jury meeting on Monday, and they want to put up a monument, a marker that marks that this was the place of her birth. I think that's a great idea. The community college is in progress over at the simulated nursing facility. I've been out there. They have started making their improvements, and they said that when you walk into the building, that it's going to look just like a nurse's station. They're putting about $1 million worth of work into that facility. And also I inquired about the facility, and they're expecting some good news on that to happen real soon. So that those two things are very, very important to the growth of our community. Okay, opening of the Community Health Medical Center. They had a private opening for employees, but they are going to have a grand opening, I believe, sometime in January. I don't know if they set the date or not, but I'm sure the Chamber of Commerce will be getting that information out, or they will. And if you hear it before I do, please let me know.
Mayor,
Yes.
it's January the 10th.
It's January the 10th. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am. I'm not sure the time yet. I think 11, but I'll more later.
January 10th. Do you know the time?
I'm not too sure. I'm thinking 11 o'clock, but I will know later.
Okay. Okay, we have someone who was born here that has taken the initiative to rehab Pine Street. And she mentioned Pine Street residents can apply for a grant. Mr. Green, you know anything about that? I know you've been working with
Miss Bunny?
Miss Bonnie, yes, Scott.
I think about a month or so ago, she had a meeting at her house on Pine Street where she was, anybody that's interested in getting a grant to rebuild their homes, and she was doing it. She also started a coalition where she's, I guess, enhancing West Pine. She's doing a very good job as well. This past weekend on Saturday, myself and Mr. Will Height, another guy, we went over there and we put up lights. And just yesterday, she had a light show and passed out hot cocoa.
Looks good over there. I've been driving through there at nighttime, and she's not present with us tonight, is she?
She's not.
She's to be commended for her work, and that's what it's going to take, one street at a time, maybe one side of the street at a time. But I just have faith that we can.
Yeah, also, I just want to give her flowers while I'm here and while she's here. She also, like some of the older people on West Pine, she's herself do the upkeep on her yard as well.
That's great. That's great. We'll have to recognize her at some point in time for her efforts. In fact, she's interested in serving on a board with us, so she'll get a chance to channel that energy, Mr. Green. Brother Ernest Smith resigned from the board, and we mailed him a certificate, but we certainly want to extend our appreciation to him for serving on the Planning and Zoning Commission Board from March 13 through August 2022. So he will be getting a certificate of appreciation. I've taken care of Flat Stanley. And you know, while I'm at it, Flat Stanley really works me. This is about the third one I've had. And it really keeps me on task with what I'm supposed to do. And when I forget about it, and then at the end of the day I have to stop and think, what all did I do today? Certificate to student and state Louisiana badge. And okay. All right. Chief Reed, you'll get to talk about the body cams a little later, but we are being proactive in terms of safety issues. Mr. Will Height, I'll let you speak to the upgrades and give the update a little later as well. We are staying on top of the survey with the DRA on broadband. We don't want to miss out, and I know there's a lot of misinformation in terms of where do we need it, who has it. And I was at the police event Saturday night, and I got a call, and I couldn't get reception, so we know that's one weak spot. The airport had a weak area, but I believe Delta Regional Authority can assist us with defining those areas of weakness that we have in our community. Also, we're looking at ways to make our schools safer as well. That concludes my announcements. Are there any other district announcements anyone wishes to make?
I'd like to make an announcement. I want to congratulate my baby girl, Brittany Moore, who will receive her bachelor's degree on Saturday from ULM. She is graduating in business administration with a concentration in marketing. She'll begin her master's program in January, so I'm very proud of my baby girl.
That's right. Let's give her a round of applause. And make her a certificate.
Mayor, can you announce our special call meeting.
Oh, let's go ahead and talk about that call meeting, Ms. Golden.
We have a special call meeting just for the reapportion. We're looking at the districts. It's gonna be the 15th of December. Teresa, in at 5 or 5:30? I think the public hearing's at 5 and the council's at 4:30. But if you'd like to look at it, is the one on the board is it. So we also have other maps that you can come to the office, and we'll be glad to give you a copy of it.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Golden. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve this item number 4, previous minutes, regular meeting, November the 10th, 2022.
I'd like to make a comment before we do that, if I can.
Sure.
Something is missing out of the minutes where we tabled the appointment for city attorney, and that's not included in the minutes. So I would like it amended before we approve these minutes.
Okay. Okay. Duly noted.
We will make that correction and have it on next meeting.
Okay.
Public comments as they relate to items on the agenda.
Mayor, if I would, with respect to that item, before you move into that, with respect to the approval of the previous minutes, if Councilman Moore had that amendment, they can still adopt the minutes with that representation and just let Sandra rectify that for the next meeting for the printout.
Okay. Duly noted. I will entertain a motion to adopt the minutes with understanding that the clerk will make that correction. I'll entertain a motion at this time.
I'll make that motion.
Second, Mayor.
Properly moved and second. Are there any questions? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. That was on minutes. Public comments as they relate to items on the agenda. Okay.
Well, I will say this, Mayor, that the sewer work that we have to get done before we lay asphalt down is on its way now. So we'll soon have that in place. It's going to take a little while because it's several different streets.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Item number 6, consideration of and action on reports of committees appointed of the governing body. Okay, Mr. Will Hyde, you want to go first? Any updates?
We finished renovating the Bastrop.
Mr. Will Hyde?
He said he talk loud enough, y'all can hear him.
We finished renovating the Bastrop Park gym. We just put in a new floor. We're gonna open it up for people to come in next week, Monday. We're gonna start our basketball league, so if y'all know any kids that wanna play basketball after Christmas. And also I spoke with Volker. We're gonna meet Tuesday on the redoing of the DMV building. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Chief Reed.
Yes, ma'am. We got the body cameras in. Everyone should be wearing them by Monday of next week. Captain Gibbons has on one of them right here. It's Axon body cameras, all cloud-based. Everything they do will be uploaded to a cloud and we'll be able to monitor everything. Also, I submitted a grant for some new police radios this week. I got a response from Motorola. Also submitted a grant for some new flashlights and other equipment. And basically, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Chief Williams?
So we recently had the exterior of Central Fire Station repainted. If you've been by there, you may not notice it unless you really pay attention to it. It was really bad. We went back with the original color, so if you're not really paying attention, you might not notice it. But Mr. Will Hyde and them helped us out with that, got us some painters, so real thankful for that because it didn't really cost us much, nothing out of the budget other than the paint and stuff. So real fortunate to get that done. Got some more work to get done. Got 4 new recruits started. Need about 8 more. The 4 I got replaced 4 that I've lost. So my numbers stay the same, but I need more. So if y'all know any young men and women looking, send them my way, and we'll get them, through the process. Like I said earlier about the toy drive, please feel free to contribute to that, help us out to where we can provide for the community.
Chief, what's the requirement?
18 years old, we'll get them through the process. You gotta have a high school diploma or GED, and then we'll get them signed up and get them through the process to take the civil service exam, then the physical agility and stuff.
Thank you,
Thank
Chief.
you.
Item number 7A, reports of city officials or employees required by law or by action of the governing body. We heard reports from the employees. 7A, Finance Committee Report, Resolution 22, 2021, bills and claims for the month of November 2022. I'll entertain a motion.
So, Mayor, and we've already reviewed the bills and claims for the month of November. We just approved it.
I'll entertain a motion on bills and claims.
I think he moved.
I did, I moved.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, had a long day. It's probably moved
And I second.
and second. Any questions? Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Item number 8, action on ordinance and resolutions introduced at previous meeting. Ms. Goldman, got anything on that?
No, ma'am.
Other unfinished business. Appointment of an additional attorney to represent city civil matters. Attorney Pierre and Judge Reese and I met. We had conversation on how to synchronize and move forward to advance the interest of the city. And at this time, my appointment for the additional attorney to represent the city civil matters is Judge Agnelis Reese. I'll entertain a motion. We have a real necessity that exists to have an additional attorney to represent the civil matters, to keep from falling behind, keep things from falling through the cracks. And this is a real necessity, and I ask that you take this appointment seriously.
I have a quick question.
You do.
Now, we had a zoning meeting the other day. Was Ms. Reese in attendance? Was she there?
I wasn't at the zoning meeting.
The zoning meeting, was she there?
You mean the Historic District Commission meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I was.
Okay. The reason I asked, because the last meeting, you said that we was already using Ms. Reese, and we trying to figure out if she getting paid for her time or service.
Okay. We had an issue where, with the environmental court, where our current attorney could not represent us. So we would not want to leave the city exposed without some type of representation, because it was a conflict for him to sit on the bench and as judge. So we used her for that reason.
So, was it a contract, or was it like, how was the?
It was as a vendor, just as we have.
Because we was looking for, well, I was looking for it in the bills and claims, so I was wondering how was it paid to her?
We hadn't got an invoice yet.
So it was just like one of the contract.
other question. Mr. Pierre, where are we with the fireman settlement? Are we complete with that?
No, we did, as you can recall, when the previous administration moved forward with the tax for the purposes of assisting with the settlement, that tax passed by a small margin. This new administration took over, and as a part of the negotiations, we were able to negotiate a dollar for dollar credit for every dollar that we paid. This administration paid I think we borrowed the money got a bond, borrowed the money, the total for what the taxes would yield for the period of time during that tax period, and we tendered that as an initial down payment for purpose of settling that case. That payment was tendered, I think it was $470,000. We got $940,000 off of the $3.2 million judgment. And the other part of the agreement was that we would pay $53,000 each year in one-time payment, and when we paid that $53,000, we would get $106,000 off of the judgment. So essentially, we settled it for under those terms and conditions. So, if the question is where we are, that's where we are in currently. I don't know if we made that $53,000 payment. I don't know when is that due, but I think it's due in July, if I'm not mistaken. That annual payment, and that's where we are from the negotiated portion of it. The case is still in existence in the sense that at the point in time when we settled the case, the court needed to have a cutoff date so that the CPA could quantify the damages, because the judgment had been rendered prior to Mayor Olive and even prior to Mayor Cotton coming into office, that the judgment had already been rendered against the city of Bastrop, so they were trying to quantify. So they got a cutoff date, I think it was 2017, so that the CPA can put a number on it, but there is still a portion of the case that is still pending between 2017 and when the city started paying the fireman properly.
Okay, I have another question. The last attorneys, I think the attorneys you hired doing the civil service, Pierre couldn't attend or something?
When the Civil Service Board recused me, they subpoenaed me in the case.
Okay.
And as such, I couldn't serve as the attorney for the city and a witness, but they never called me, but that's another story.
Have we paid those attorneys?
Yes, we do.
Can you tell me the amount of those
I
attorneys?
couldn't, I can look it up, but I don't have them all.
You have time to look it up today?
I can do it after the meeting, you want to.
After the meeting?
Yeah.
That'll work.
Okay, Ms. Haynes,
Yes.
will you come? We truly need another attorney to address civil matters. And we had a citing in our audit in reference to that. And also, the Larson Act prevails if the city charter is silent. The Larson Act says that you shall consider someone who lives within the municipality. And Judge Reese is originally from here. She has moved back here, and she is now a resident here. So finding someone that fits that criteria and knowing, you want to speak to how the state is encouraging us to have someone to pursue certain matters on the civil side.
Well, the matter that she's talking about in the audit, they're just saying that some research needs to be done, some additional research. So we can ask Mr. Pierre to do that, or, whoever, but they definitely say we've got to have some research done.
And looking at the day-to-day activity of what goes on and what we have to do, Judge Reese is my appointment to serve as the additional attorney. And I do ask for your consideration.
And the city for years has had, 2 different attorneys.
For years we had one as well.
Yeah. So,
Well, I don't know if you received a copy of what we have certainly would relieve a burden and the added stress that's on existing staff.
Well, I mean, I guess my concern, Mary, is the numbers. I mean, I hear you say that we need 2 attorneys, but it's been situations that we have just hired, for example, the civil service matter. We hired attorneys, and the council got to get hit with, we done hired 2 attorneys. I think it was 2, right? I'm not trying to disagree, but I'm just asking.
Go ahead.
Until, like, we really don't know the price of those 2 attorneys, because I thought it was an ongoing matter. I didn't think that was over with. So if it's ongoing, are we bringing in those 2 attorneys as well? Then again, also too, we had a situation, let me get you Ms. Reese, I promise, that we brought in Ms. Reese to assist, right? I don't know, because we haven't got the invoice, and I haven't seen on the bill's claim, so I'm just asking. Right? So Ms. Cindy get up here and tell us we have 2 attorneys. We've been having 2 attorneys for years, or we've been practicing with 1 for years, right? So it's not a necessity that we got to have 2 attorneys. Now, I hear you out. It's not a necessity. It's not vital that we got to have 2 attorneys, because from the looks of it, when matters present themselves, we can go, I don't know, reach out to Ms. Reese or other attorneys to do the job you need to be done at the time. Pierre can handle it, in his seat. That's how I look at it from my perspective, from District D perspective. That's how I look at it. I look at it that, whenever a situation arises, Pierre can't get there, we go get other attorneys. Without the council, acknowledgement, consent, because we haven't, we get hit with it in the public, like, hey, we got 2 attorneys, we don't know, we don't know if it's 40,000, 50,000, I'm not sure how much it is. Then we got to deal with also the civil service, we got an attorney as well that we're looking to pay, still dealing with that matter. So here we are going to add Ms. Reese, so we got to pay her.
Well,
definitely got to pay her for her knowledge and for her experience. She not coming for nothing.
Okay.
So, so that's my concern, like, now, because I asked myself, Pierre, if you don't mind, when did Ricky Smith leave?
About a month after he got here.
So that's roughly over a year, right?
About a year, almost a year and a half.
So, okay, so me, like I said, I'm one person, I'm sit back like a year passed, we've been working with 1. So now, the last month or so, you guys tell me that it's vital that we had to have 2, and I'm looking like, why?
Well, and let me speak to that.
Tell me, because if Pierre can't do it in his body, then you already have reached out to 2 times, 2 different attorneys.
Okay. Let me speak to that. Looking at the availability.
Ms. Cindy, that's possible, right?
Wait just a minute, Mr. Green.
I thought I was.
And I'll give you full.
I'm sorry.
Looking at the availability and having someone in reserve, we're taking the same salary and splitting that salary the way it was. So this is not additional money. This is the same money, because the salary that Mr. Smith was getting, Attorney Pierre is getting. So it's not like I'm taking additional money.
Okay.
And so that solved that problem. And then just finding an attorney on an ad hoc basis is kind of difficult. So when Judge Reese moved back here instead of residence, and I think she may live in your district, I'm not sure, but yeah, I think she may live in your district. That fit the profile within the guidelines of the law. Now, in terms of hiring additional attorneys, there are attorneys that specialize. Every attorney doesn't specialize in bonds. That's why we use Bill Bowles' firm.
Right.
And then we had the situation where our present attorney was called as a witness. So that put us in an awkward situation. So then we had the other situation where he is environmental judge, so I couldn't leave the city exposed. Now there's a provision in the law that gives the mayor the authority to do whatever is deemed necessary, not denied by law, to make sure the city is safe, legally solvent, And so it's not like I'm finding money in the budget for the additional attorney. The money is already there.
Mr. Pierre, do you need help? Can you not fulfill your duties?
First, let me just say that I think y'all are in order right now because you need a motion before you have the discussion. But I guess I have to answer your question because you asked me a question directly. I've been a ping pong in this city since I was brought here. Well, a year after I got here, I came in under the Jones administration. Some of you may have recalled. I wasn't here when I was appointed, but I was appointed city attorney and given the responsibility to do the criminal aspect of the job. Mayor Cotton was elected, and Mayor Cotton moved. He wanted two attorneys. He wanted myself and the late Duncan Jones. He wanted Duncan Jones to do the criminal aspect, and he wanted me to do the civil aspect. So I was moved around then. Mayor Olive was elected. She wanted two attorneys, as has been the protocol all for years, and she asked that I move back to criminal, and with Ricky Smith, Attorney Ricky Smith, performing the civil responsibilities. Mr. Smith was here, I'll say approximately a month. You all know how long he was here. I was moved, let me take you back. When, under the Cotton administration, when I was doing civil at some point in time, unfortunately, we lost Duncan. And when we lost Duncan, all of the responsibilities of the legal department was placed upon my shoulders. Not a problem, I've handled it. In addition to everything that was going on below there. Subsequent to that, Mayor Olive was elected, and as she said, we did talk, and the charter does give her authority to have more than one attorney. It also gives up to 3 attorneys, subject to you all's consent. So when Mayor Olive came in, she wanted more than one attorney. I was moved back to criminal. Ricky left after a month. It's all back on my shoulder again. So do I need help? I've done it alone for 5 years. But the issue is the mayor wants another lawyer.
In terms of availability, and as I look at the findings in our audit and having not one attorney stretched to capacity, and it's no guarantee that Judge Reese will be available, and finding someone to fit that profile that lives here in this municipality is so essential to the appointment. But more importantly, it's the function of the city, because we have occupational license that are in arrears. We have other issues that need legal attention, and we're losing revenues with businesses that are operating without license. We have pages of that, and we need someone to help relieve the stress that's on the administration. I can't stress that enough. And as Mr. Pierre, Attorney Pierre has indicated, the 3 of us have talked, it's the same money that will be split, and then we will have access to 2 attorneys, one for the civil matters, one for the prosecution side. So it's not like I'm digging in the budget and cutting something from somebody else. This is a means of helping the city to operate more efficiently and minimize findings in the audit which pose a bigger risk to us.
And let me just say this. I mean, I think when the mayor said findings in the audit, I don't want it to be construed that the findings in the audit is because I was deficient. I don't want that to be construed that way at all. You know, if this body so inclines to empower me, or the mayor instruct me, you know, to sue all these folk on the Buddhists when y'all get here, it's my job to do so. I mean, litigation is my specialty. That's what I do. That's my training. I have a degree that less than 100 people in this world have, and that's a master's in litigation. So if that's the instruction, that's the instruction. But at the end of the day, I don't want it to be suggested that the findings in the audit is because I was deficient. If you all charge me and you say go do it, I'll go do it. But the issue, like I said before, y'all out of order. Y'all need a motion before you get to discussion. I think y'all were. Yeah, well, just ahead of them.
Wait just a minute.
I know, I mean, because
We have,
the number, the way you said is not a
no,
number.
wait,
Oh, I'm sorry.
order. That was item number 5. Public comments as they relate to items on the agenda. I'm speaking to Bishop Bradford.
Yes, I understand, Mayor.
Okay.
I think this particular item you're discussing right now is not, if you don't mind me speaking, is not. Can I speak?
You can't do, Bishop, you can't do that. Your chance to do that was, comments as it relates to the agenda.
Well, it's related to the agenda now, the agenda being expanded.
We have passed that item. At this time, I will entertain a motion on the recommendation to appoint Judge Agnelis Reese. The money is the same money to help lessen the burden of the operation of the city in legal matters. Are there any other questions of resistance to this recommendation in that it's the same money? Any questions you would like to ask Judge Reese? Well, not only do we have that list that Mr. Pierre, we also have other things that we need to take care of. So, all right, motion dies. Item number 9, that was it. In civil matters. Item number 10.
We don't have any proposed ordinances or resolutions.
Okay. Item number 11, other new business. Liquor license.
Mayor, we have 7 licenses for renewal that I recommend. The first one's going to be Field Track Easy North, 1231 North Washington Street. The next one is going to be Field Track 1301 North Washington. Second one is Zeke's Place, 432 West Madison Avenue. Juanito Mexican Restaurant, 1801 East Madison. That's going to be their new location. And that's going to be it, Mayor. It's 4 of them.
Okay. You find that they meet the criteria?
Yes.
It is your recommendation that these licenses be approved?
Yes.
At this time, I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion.
Is there a second? Properly moved in second. Any questions? Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. At this time, I will entertain a motion to expand this agenda based on an announcement by Mr. Robert Shaw in relation to his seat on this Board of Aldermen. I will entertain a motion to expand this agenda.
So moved.
Excuse me,
I'll entertain a motion to expand the agenda based on a request from Mr. Shaw on a personal announcement in relation to his service on this Board of Aldermen. Which has already been motioned and seconded. Any question? Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Ms. Shaw?
This is quite unusual, I know that, but Robert has asked me if I would read this letter for him. Mayor, fellow board members, citizens of District C, and fellow citizens of Bastrop, I am officially resigning my council position to be effective and vacating upon the election of a successor during the spring primary election on March 25th, 2023. I am submitting my irrevocable letter on this 8th day of December 2022 at our regular council meeting of the mayor and city council to allow time to notify the Secretary of State, the Honorable Kyle Ardon, time to replace District C for the spring 2023 election. I want to take this time to thank the citizens of District C for allowing me to represent them in conducting city business. I did my best to serve you well. Thank you, Mayor Olive, and this council for your support and encouragement as we serve together. Thank you to the city workers, the police chief, the fire chief, and the others within the city government who have gone out of your way to be accommodating and helpful. The person who has been my best source of help in the 10 years of service is Ms. Sandra Goldman. A thank you does not sound like enough, yet that is what I offer you. The city would not function nearly as well without you. I leave this term of service believing it is the best decision for myself, my family, and the city of Bastrop. It has been my honor to serve the citizens of District C and the city of Bastrop, and I will continue to be supportive of all efforts to make Bastrop better. Sincerely, Robert Shaw, Councilman, District C, and City of Bastrop.
Thank you, Mrs. Shaw. Mr. Shaw, it has been my pleasure to work with you. I worked with you some years ago when you were with International Paper Company on a grant that I did that you facilitated for a nonprofit organization. And I want to extend my gratitude to you, as well as looking forward to your still being very active as we need you to be. So in order to take care of this business, I've already done the research, and we have a resolution in order to get this on the ballot for the spring election, which is coming up. Qualifying time is January what, Sandra? Do you know those dates off the top of your head?
Yes, ma'am, it's on the ordinance. It's January the 25th, 26th, and 27th is qualifying. The election is March the 25th, and if there's a runoff, it's April the 29th of 2023.
Mr. Shaw is willing to serve until a successor is elected. At this time, Mr. Shaw?
I would just like to say that I appreciate this whole group that we're covered here. Of course, I'm in C district, and folks have been extremely just take care of me. I mean, really. Unfortunately, I'm not as healthy as I used to be, but sometimes you have to back up and look. But again, I appreciate everything y'all have done, and hopefully down the road, we'll say it's been a great time and a great run. And these guys here just took care of business.
Thank you. At this time, I will entertain a motion on the resolution that Ms. Goldman just passed around. I'll entertain a motion on that resolution.
So moved.
Properly moved. Is there a second? And second. Any questions? Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, that brings us to item number 12. At this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. So moved. Properly moved. Is there a second?
Second.
And second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.